On September 16, 2025, Yonezu Kenshi's Kickback received the Platinum certification in the US, making it the first Japanese song ever to achieve such recognition and popularity in America. And yes, that means beating out songs like Idol and Shin no ga Iwa. But did you know that it actually samples an Idol song from the early 2000s, and was produced by the genius behind another iconic anime song? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about Yonezu Kenshi's creative process behind one of the greatest anime songs ever, and break down some of its notable lyrics. So just kick back and enjoy. See what I did there? Yonezu has been a fan of Chainsaw Man since day one, as he's a longtime reader of its author, Fujimoto-sensei's previous manga series, Fire Punch. He's such a fan of Chainsaw Man that even before the anime was announced, he was already thinking about how he would make its theme song while reading the manga. So when he was approached by MAPPA, he was absolutely ecstatic. And just to show how much Chainsaw Man means to him, Kickback was actually his first TV anime song in nearly 5 years. The last one was Peace Sign for My Hero Academia. That was also when another mastermind behind Kickback came into play, Tsuneta Daiki, the lead vocal, guitarist, and songwriter of King Gnu, best known for the theme song of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Specials. He and Yonezu were friends long before King Gnu's breakout song, Hakujitsu. They would drink together and talk about Chainsaw Man, so when Yonezu asked him to help produce and arrange the song, it took no convincing for him to hop on board. While the songwriting and composition were still done by Yonezu himself, Tsuneta brought a dangerous swag to the music that even Yonezu couldn't replicate. According to him, the original demo of the song was a lot more stoic before being handed over to Tsuneta, and you can't deny that, as the theme song of Chainsaw Man, a bit of attitude is definitely necessary. In my Iris Out video, I talked about the differences between the two songs, and that musically, Iris Out is more of a freefall compared to Kickback, which sounds more like a roller coaster. That roller coaster analogy was actually provided by the director of Chainsaw Man when discussing the type of theme song he was looking for. That resulted in Kickback having multiple melodical shifts. Combined with Yonezu's attempt to capture both the hysterical and serious tones Chainsaw Man is known for, it gave us one of the most unique sounding songs in all of anime. Now, why did Yonezu name the song Kickback? Well, in the world of chainsaws, a kickback is a sudden recoil by the chainsaw that could harm the user if not handled properly. And in finance, a kickback is a misappropriation of funds, often connected to bribery and corruption. Both are fitting for the world of Chainsaw Man. One more reason I want to mention is that it could be an homage to another work by Fujimoto-sensei, Look Back, a single-volume manga which was adapted into a film, and is, alongside Daisy, one of the best anime films I've ever seen. In my Iris Out and Jane Doe videos, I talked about the album covers painted by Yonezu himself. That's the case with Kickback as well. He really isn't kidding when he said his biggest dream is to become a manga author. The album cover of Kickback is actually inspired by the poster of Parasite. Yonezu found the ominousness of only showing the legs at the corner especially fascinating. So in the cover, we can only see the arm pulling the cord. If you've listened to Yonezu's music prior to Kickback, you might notice that his vocals sound quite different in this song, and that was intentional. Yonezu had wanted to change his voice for a while, and Kickback presented the perfect chance for him to experiment with something bold. So he went through vigorous vocal training, which resulted in a more growly voice that perfectly suited the chainsaw theme. Now let's move on to the lyrics and music video breakdown. The references in the opening animation have been talked about ad nauseum. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen the side-by-side comparisons with the movie scenes, and something about the holes left by each time Denji crashed into a building that shaped suspiciously like CSM. So I'll skip the OP animation and instead focus more on the music video, which honestly doesn't have much to offer. Because when Yonezu hired the director for the music video, he had only one request: to make it absurd and chaotic. And that's what we got. A workout montage where he becomes the muscle devil and competes with Tsuneta in the Kishibe Rohan fashion, then running around like Bruce Lee meets Squid Game. As a side note, the music video was filmed at the same place as Kairo by Fujikaze. If you're still watching and enjoying the video so far, consider leaving a like. Apparently it's good for the algorithm. Thanks. Now as for the lyrics, when making anime songs, Yonezu always makes sure that their tone and message are part of the anime storytelling, so you won't have theme songs that are misleading or have absolutely zero correlation to the anime. Kickback, similar to Iris Out, is very much a song about Denji and his desire, albeit a lot less female-focused. And that brings us to the first line and the core sentiment of the song. This is one of the most recognizable parts of the entire song, but it is actually a sample from Soda We're Alive by Morning Musume, released in 2002. This was, frankly, a very odd creative choice. An anime that's supposed to be brutal, unhinged, yet serious at times, and he chose to sample a cheerful idol song. Obviously, we got a former idol singing one of the EDs, but it was just one episode, and Ano-chan has always been on the weirder side. Bish would have been amazing as well. However, Yonezu didn't just sample a song from any idol, but one of the most well-known mainstream idols in Japanese history. Tsuneta Daiki was obviously baffled at first, and so was Tsunku, the songwriter of Soda We're Alive. He has written over 2,000 songs in his career, including most of Morning Musume's discography. So naturally, he receives a lot of requests to use his songs, but even he had to rub his eyes when the name Yonezu Kenshi showed up on the list. Obviously, he said yes without hesitation, but he was skeptical about how it would fit an anime song, and thought maybe Yonezu would just end up not using it. A few months later, he received the final product and was utterly shocked by Yonezu's talent. A short punchy line has turned into a song with a strong message. It's something he's never experienced before. And Tsuneta Daiki, who had no idea what Yonezu was planning, said he had genuine shivers when he first listened to the demo. So why was Yonezu so determined to use that line? The truth is, even he doesn't know. All he could explain was that it was a hunch and an urge. But the amazing thing is that it doesn't sound out of place at all. Sure, Chainsaw Man overall has a darker tone, but Denji, the main character, is a happy-go-lucky person, and all he wants is to work hard for a happy, comfortable future. This is evident from the very first verse. It's such a vivid way of depicting Denji's daily life and the small happiness he yearns for. After a day of hard work, aka killing devils, all he wants is to clean the stains off. And in that moment, seeing an empty laundromat is bliss. It's like when the other side of the pillow is cold, or your favorite YouTuber uploads a video right when you're about to eat. The voice whispering in his head could be Makima manipulating him, but I think it's just his desires manifesting clearly. Now this I Just Wanna Be Happy is very interesting, because it's a callback to the Morning Musume song. Normally it's pronounced shiawase, but in Soda We're Alive, they pronounced it shiyawase. And that really stood out to Yonezu when he was a kid. So in Kickback, you can hear him emphasizing shiyawase. There's actually one more connection between Chainsaw Man and Morning Musume. The Japanese title for chapter 85 of Chainsaw Man is Chochocho ii kanji. Now that's not a very common phrase, but it also appears in the lyrics of Morning Musume's 2002 hit song, Lenai Revolution 21. I don't think it's a coincidence. In the chorus, "Let's fill it up with happy until we rest in peace," continues the theme of the song. All Denji wants is happiness, and he's willing to die for it, which he literally says during his fight with Aki. Another thing worth noting is that the song uses a lot of simpler vocabs like happy and lucky, which reflects how simple Denji's desires are, and the fact that he never had a proper education. The rest of the chorus feels more like a dynamic between Denji and Makima. It's inconclusive, and you may have to read further into the manga to understand it. Anyway, the last line of the chorus is also the end of the anime version. Yonezu on numerous occasions has called Denji stupid, so his forgetfulness is quite in character. The second verse has some of my favorite lyrics from the song, so it's a shame that it isn't included in the OP. Yonezu-san, as shown at the beginning of the music video, is a lottery system in Japanese vending machines. If you get a streak, you get a free drink. The whole second verse is about how unfortunate Denji is, and being one number short of winning a lottery might be one of the most gut-wrenching feelings. Also, 4 means death, so perhaps it's also a reference to Denji always being one step away from dying, but never does. There's no rain that lasts forever. It's the equivalent of there's light at the end of the tunnel. For someone like Denji who's lived a miserable life, instead of empty optimism and encouragement, something more practical like 3 meals a day and a roof over his head means a lot more. The bridge sounds like an entirely different song with classic instrumentation. That's because even though Chainsaw Man is often dark and heavy with a lot of violence, there are some sequences where everything seems to slow down and become more nuanced. The rest of the song is mostly repeated or quite literal, so I'll just finish the breakdown with this line from the chorus. It's a really well-written lyric. Denji is the ultimate egoist, but his actions generally result positively for the greater good. Also, he's been killing for a living his entire life, so if heaven is only for the well-behaved, it's impossible for him. Such a simple line, but given the context, bears so much more meaning. Kickback isn't in my top 10 anime songs or Yonezu Kenshi songs, but I'm not at all surprised that it has become such a culturally defining achievement for anime and J-pop. It's not as instantly catchy as Idol or Our Out, where you're hooked just after one listen, and it was never meant to be. Yonezu wanted to create a song that reflects Chainsaw Man, so even though he's more than capable of making a pop song for the charts, he created something that's authentic, unique, and after every listen, you just become more and more invested in the song, almost like an extension of the anime. The historical success of the song is simply a reflection of the show's popularity and Yonezu's unwavering artistry. If you somehow made it to the end of the video, consider subscribing. Thanks. This has been Cushion. See you next time.